Hey everybody, it's Chris from FamilyGeekery, and today we're going to be checking out this 8BitDo Ultimate 2C wired controller. And if you watch the channel, you know I love my 8BitDo controllers. Definitely one of the best third-party controllers on the market, and I'm excited to test this one out. It's got some pretty fantastic features for the price, and talking about price, this thing is insanely priced at like 20 bucks. Now it is wired, and it is limited to what it can connect to, but other than that, they've put some really awesome components in this thing, so let's check it out. So starting right here on the back of the box, we can see that it's set up for Windows, Android, and Raspberry Pi. So it is kind of limited in the fact that it doesn't hook up to Switch or Xbox or PlayStation or iOS. But I would assume overall this is probably targeted at the Windows market since there's a lot of Windows gamers. And this is also limited to wired. Now it is a detachable wire, a USB-C detachable wire, but there is no wireless capability at all. But if you've been following the naming conventions of these, we've got the Ultimate, we've got the Ultimate C, we got the Ultimate 2C, we've got the Ultimate C wired, we got the Ultimate C unwired, we got the Ultimate 2C Pro Max, I don't know anymore. But we have to assume that the 2 before the C here means that it is improved in some way. And they don't even have those improvements listed on the box, which is odd. But they're definitely on the website, and hopefully they're definitely inside the controller, because that's what we're going to be checking out. Now those improvements that I'm talking about are probably the biggest improvement is going to be the Hall sensor, both joysticks and triggers, and then they've increased the polling rate to 1000 Hertz. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and check it out. Alright, so here it is, the 8BitDo Ultimate 2C, and if you're familiar with the Ultimate line, you can see that this has a lot of similarities to it. We talked about some of the differences, the Hall effect sensors and the polling rate. There is one more upgrade that they added to this, and that is these thumb protectors. No, it's not those things. It's the L4 and R4 buttons on the back here. So we've got an extra button back here on the shoulders that we can program either with the software or you can program it right from the controller itself. The instruction manual has instructions in several different languages to help you do that, and all the other button combinations you need to hook it up to different types of systems and to set your turbo functionality and that kind of stuff, all in the book. And because these things look so similar, I chose this peach colored one just so I can kind of distinguish it from the other 8BitDo controllers I've got around the house here. And you can see it came with a nice cable. Obviously it needs the cable because this is the wired version, but it is nice and long. It is very high quality, and it does have a little 8BitDo branding on here just in case you forget which controller it came with. But it's a great controller. It's got nice texture on the back side of it. It's got good feeling sticks and buttons. The D-pad feels great. There's supposed to be a metal ring inside these controllers here. Yeah, you can see it right there to kind of protect it and stop it from getting either broken or damaged, I think. But everything feels good. We got a decent click on the shoulders. We've got a decent pull on the triggers. And I do like the extra buttons just in case you want to use those for something. I would have probably rather them be down here because sometimes I'm playing a game where I don't want to have to switch my finger back and forth between different things here, so I like to have a different button on the back that I can use a different finger. But I'm not going to be upset with an extra button, whether I use it or not. I'm sure somebody's got a use for it. So, bonus. But enough talking, let's do some playing. I'm going to go ahead and grab a Windows computer and get this thing hooked up. Alright, so here I got a little laptop here running Windows 11. And the instruction book says to hold down the X button while you plug in the USB cord, wait for it to be recognized, and then you can let go of the X button. Now I've done this already. I've tried it with hitting the X button as the instructions say, and I tried it just by plugging it in by itself. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And actually I tried this first, just plugging it in and not doing anything. And it comes right up. It comes up controller, 8BitDo Ultimate 2C wired controller. And it says the exact same thing if I do the same thing holding the X button. So I'm not exactly sure why that's required. But in any case, I'm glad that it works without hitting that X button, because I guarantee the next time I go to do this, I will forget to hit that X button. And I'm going to assume that's just going to work. Now, I don't have any games loaded on this gaming computer for some reason. But I just wanted to get it into Windows and see if everything works. And of course it does. Everything looks great. It registers all the buttons, the D-pad, the R3, L3, and then I haven't mapped the L4 and R4 for anything yet, so those aren't going to show up. But everything looks great, feels great. I know it's going to play games great because I've used this same controller, just the non-2 version of it, many, many times. and like I said, it feels great. I'm not sure if you're going to notice any difference with the Hall effect sensors versus the regular joysticks. I'm just going to assume that they're going to last longer without any kind of drift, and I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and grab an Android device and hook this up to Android. Alright, so I grabbed my trusty Logitech G Cloud because it's an Android device. Got this thing plugged in USB to USB-C going right in there, and I learned something. Remember how we talked about pressing the X button to get it into Windows mode? Well, it's also you need to press B button to get into Android mode. I wish they would have made that A for Android, but that would have been too logical. And so I decided to try the same thing, just plug it in, see if it worked, and it didn't. So this light right here never did stop flashing, and the instruction says once it stops flashing, that means it's going to work. So I unplugged it again, held down the B button, plugged it in, and sure enough, it came up solid right away. So now everything works fine, which made me wonder, hey, what if I take this thing and unplug it and plug it back into that Windows PC and see if it worked, or if I'm going to have to, switch it back into X mode. And that's exactly what happened when I plugged it in. I'll show you what happened. It didn't work exactly as expected until I did unplug it, hold down the X button, plug it back in. So let me go ahead and grab that laptop again so I can show you exactly what happened so you don't fall into the same pitfall. But as far as Android goes, everything works great. Alright, so remember last time what happened when I plugged this in and it just worked right away. So let me go ahead and plug this in again. So this is just the USB port going right in here. It comes up and it says 8BitDo Ultimate 2C wired controller. Everything seems like it works great. The light did come up flashing solid here. But if I go into properties, what are we missing here? So it looks like left joystick works right joystick works, but now the analog triggers are showing up as buttons 9 and 10. We don't have this extra axis in here anymore. So it looks like when it's in Android mode, those are just going to be digital triggers and not analog triggers. So if we go ahead and take this, cancel out of here, unplug it, now I'm going to hold down the X button and plug it back in. Everything's solid. It comes up, looks exactly like it did before, but now when I go into properties, voila. Now I've got both analog sticks and I've got analog triggers. So there is something to pushing the X and pushing the B to get it into the different modes. Long story short, if you're just going to use it in Windows, set it up once, I think you'll be absolutely fine. If you're just going to use it in Android, set it up once with the B button, you're going to be fine. If you're going to switch back and forth, better get yourself a Sharpie and write right here. Press and hold X for Windows, press and hold B for Android. Either that or duct tape this to the bottom of it, but have some way of remembering how to set it up each time unless you're going to keep it dedicated to one system. And speaking of other systems, I did want to check to see if it worked with Steam Deck. It's not listed, and unlike some of the other handheld PCs, this runs Linux, not Windows. So I plugged it in, didn't even have to do anything, and it just works. So that's good because this is obviously one of the most popular portable gaming devices, and a lot of people like to plug this thing in and dock it up to a mouse and keyboard and monitor, and now they can use a controller with it too. So I'm very pleased to see that this works on the Steam Deck as well. Alright, so I think that's going to conclude my quick little test here of the 8BitDo Ultimate 2C wired controller. Bottom line, if you're looking for a great controller that doesn't break the bank, and you're going to use it on PC or Android or even Steam Deck, then this is definitely a great choice. You can't beat the build quality, you can't beat the price, and even the previous year's version of it is running at the same price right now, so it makes no sense to get that one. Just go ahead and grab these. I'll leave a link down in the description below, so go check it out. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, I appreciate a thumbs up. Go ahead and check out the rest of the channel. I've got lots of reviews on other devices and lots of controller reviews. Might find something that interesting for you. And if you do, go ahead and slap that subscribe button too. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer anything I can. But I thank you as always for watching, and until next time, peace out and geek out.